Epilogue. Useless Dreams. Let us now talk about something very important. I want to emphatically address the subject matter related with dreams. The hour has arrived in which we must delve deeply within this topic. I acknowledge that the most important thing is to stop dreaming, since indeed dreams are nothing more than mere projections of the mind and are, therefore, illusions. They are worthless. It is precisely the ego who projects dreams, and obviously those dreams are useless. We need to transform the subconsciousness into consciousness. We need to radically eliminate not only dreams, but moreover, we must also eliminate the very possibility of dreaming. And this is difficult, since it is unquestionable that such a possibility will always exist so long as subjective elements continue to exist within our psyche. We need a mind that does not project. We need to exhaust the process of thinking. The projector mind projects dreams, and they are vain and illusory. When I talk about the mind being a projector, I am not referring merely to projects or projections, such as the ones made by an engineer who sketches or designs the blueprints for a building, a bridge, or a road. No. When I am talking about the mind as a projector, I am addressing the mind of every intellectual animal. It is clear that the subconsciousness always projects not only houses, buildings, or things of the sort. To be clear, it also projects its memories, its desires, its emotions, passions, ideas, experiences, etc. Again, the projector mind projects dreams, and it is clear that there will be projections as long as the subconsciousness continues to exist. When the subconsciousness ceases to exist, when it has been transformed into consciousness, then projections cease. They can no longer exist. They disappear. If we want to attain authentic illumination, then it is necessary and urgent to transform the subconsciousness into consciousness. Indubitably, that transformation is only possible by annihilating the subconsciousness. Yet, the subconsciousness is the ego. So then, we must annihilate the ego, the I, the myself, the self-willed. Yes, this is how the subconsciousness is transformed into consciousness. Consequently, it is necessary for the subconsciousness to cease to exist, so that the objective, real, and true consciousness can appear and occupy its space, or place. In other words, as long as any subjective element, as insignificant as it might be, continues to exist within each one of us, here and now, the possibility of dreaming will persist. However, when the subjective elements are terminated, when not a single subjective element lingers within our psyche, then the outcome is objective consciousness, authentic and true elimination. Thus, an individual who possesses objective consciousness, who has eliminated the subconsciousness, lives completely awakened within the suprasensible worlds. And while his physical body sleeps in the bed, he will move in those worlds willingly, seeing, hearing, and perceiving the great realities of the superior worlds. Therefore, it is one thing to go about within the hypersensible worlds with objective consciousness, in other words, with awakened consciousness, and it is another to do so in a subjective or a subconscious state, in other words, by going around projecting dreams. Lo and behold, the great difference between the one who goes around projecting dreams within those hypersensible regions and the one who lives there without making any projections, who has the true consciousness completely awakened, illuminated, in a state of super-exalted vigilance. Obviously, the latter is truly an enlightened one, and can, if one wishes, investigate the mysteries of life and death, and know all of the enigmas of the universe. A certain author states somewhere that dreams are nothing other than disguised ideas, and if this statement is factual, we then can clarify this matter a little more by stating that dreams are projections of the mind, and therefore are false and vain. Thus, whosoever lives awakened no longer dreams. Without having died within themselves, without having annihilated the ego, the I, the myself, no one can live awakened. This is why I want all of you, brothers and sisters, to occupy yourselves with the disintegration of your egos. Because only thus, by disintegrating your terrible legion, can you be radically awakened. Indubitably, to eliminate our subjective elements is not easy, since they are many and widely varied. This elimination is processed in a didactical way, little by little. Therefore, accordingly as one is eliminating such elements, one is objectifying one's consciousness. Thus, when elimination has become absolute, then the consciousness has become totally objectified, awakened. Then the possibility of dreaming has been terminated, concluded. The great adepts of the universal white fraternity do not dream, since they possess objective consciousness. For them, the possibility of dreaming has disappeared. Thus, one finds them within the superior worlds in a state of intensified vigilance, totally illuminated, and directing the current of the innumerable centuries, governing the laws of nature, converted into gods who are beyond good and evil. It is therefore indispensable to comprehend this matter in depth. Thus, in order for all of you to have an exact summary of this, I want to tell you the following. Number 1, the subconsciousness is the ego. Thus, annihilates the ego and the consciousness will awaken. The subconscious elements are infrahuman elements that every one of us carries within. Therefore, destroy them and the possibility of dreaming will cease. Number 3. Dreams are projections of the ego, and therefore they are worthless. Number 4. The ego is mind. Number 5. Dreams are projections of the mind. Number 6. You must mark down the following with much attention. It is indispensable to stop projecting. Number 7. You must not only stop projecting things of the future, but of the past, since we live constantly projecting things from yesterday. Number 8. We must also stop projecting every type of present emotions, morbidities, passions, and so on. The projections of the mind are therefore infinite. As a consequence, the possibilities of dreaming are infinite. Therefore, how can a